Good evening. Welcome to the second part of my two videos, Observations of an American Living in Germany, which for the last 7 days we were in England. So my wife was driving when we drove out into the UK, and we had about a 40-minute ride to Canterbury. So we have a left-hand drive car because we live in Germany, and we brought the car from the United States. So she was driving, I was kind of navigating. She did pretty well. She's been in the UK before, and we both drove last year when we were in Malta. Although that time we had a right-hand drive car. So anyway, we're going, and sometimes the roundabouts are a little frightening, but we did okay. We got to our hotel. We didn't take the car out anywhere until we got there Saturday evening. We didn't take the car out anywhere until probably Wednesday. We went out Wednesday. No, we went out Thursday and Friday and drove a lot, but we didn't drive those first 4 days. We were just in town. In Canterbury, you can walk everywhere. We had a little one-bedroom townhouse, a little flat, right, almost very close to downtown. Everything was so close. It was like Germany. There's nowhere to park unless you want to pay. So we just walked. I mean, we could be to the pedestrian zone in 5 minutes. Restaurants, bars, shops, everything around there. Everywhere we went, they took credit cards, so we never even had any pound currency with us at all. We just used our credit card everywhere. They have a really cool store there called Tesco, Tesco. Kind of like Walmart and Target and Costco kind of mixed together. The food was pretty good. Got some meat there that was really good. My wife made some outstanding spaghetti. The vegetables were good. We went to a couple of the old style pubs there. That was fun. We went to see the castle, walk around the big cathedral right there in Canterbury. We actually didn't go up in the inside of it. We just walked around the grounds. It was closed. They stopped selling tickets by the time we got there. But we did go down to see the castle at Dover. That was totally amazing. Place was built in like the 1100 AD or something like that, and it's still standing. And then they had built those tunnels underneath it where they used it as a base. The British Army, Royal Navy, and Air Force used it as a base during World War II. And they were helping with the evacuation of the British and French troops at Dunkirk. And they came over to Dover. It was just so fascinating. It was kind of like a museum set up down there, and you could walk around. They had stuff set up like the way it was in World War II. They even had a hospital in there, and it was amazing how they kept the people fed. They generated the electricity. That was more than 80 years ago. It was just amazing. So that's something I highly recommend if you go over there. We also went to a zoo outside of Canterbury. That was pretty interesting. We were hoping to see some more of the big cats, but they seemed to be sleeping or hiding. The gorillas were entertaining. They had some white, I think they were black rhinos, African rhinos. They had some elephants there. And they try to rehab a lot of the animals there and then actually take them back into the wild instead of just, having them living in a zoo, especially in England, which the climate's a lot different than Africa. That was entertaining, and they had these things called gibbons. They're like little monkeys or something, and cute little devils. They just swing around and play. So we saw that. Driving in England, I drove everywhere on Thursday and Friday, and then I drove on Saturday. Probably a total of about 5 hours over 3 days. I think I got the hang of it. It was a little dicey at first, and it helps to have your wife with you when you get to a roundabout, because the instinct is to look left. You need to look to the right, because they run clockwise in the roundabouts. I only got honked at one time. Some guy, a British guy in a silver van, changed lanes without signaling, and I didn't know he was coming into the lane where we were. And that's the only near miss I had. It was a little scary sometimes. I tended to hit the brakes when I'm in the left lane going through a city. Traffic is on my right coming at me, and somebody to my right was making a left turn, and you get this scary feeling that they're going to turn in front of you, but they're really not. I did see I didn't see any German license plates over there. I saw a couple people from France and the Netherlands who were over in England. Maybe they're on vacation or whatnot, and they had the left-hand drive car. But I did see a whole lot of UK cars in Netherlands, France, and even a little bit into Germany, because they have the right-hand drive and they have the yellow and black license plates on the back of their car. And the front license plates are black and white, but the font is different than Germany. And almost every car from the UK had a big sticker that said UK or GB on the back of it. Once in a while, you'd see somebody with an F sticker for France, but I don't think every country requires that anymore, since the license plates now have the, like ours has the D underneath the EU circle, and most of the cars in the UK, they'll have they either have a UK flag or they have UK actually on the license plate. Maybe those are the ones before Brexit, I don't know. And I did see some cars in England that had a green vertical stripe. I'm assuming that was electric cars or hybrid or something like that, where they could use the charging stations. But the people in England were pretty friendly. The little flat we had was spectacular. It was a little one-bedroom Airbnb, so that was nice. Most of the people were pretty courteous. They drive pretty well over there. I didn't really see anybody do anything stupid. The speed limit on the motorway was 70, which was more than fast enough for me. The quality of the road over there was pretty decent. Some of the country roads were, a little dicey, but all in all, the food was, I'll say it was interesting. We went to a Mexican restaurant the first night we were there. It was okay. It was sort of like Chipotle, but I actually thought Chipotle tasted a little better. But the British do Mexican food better than the Germans do, which isn't very good. But one night I had these butcher sausages with I had the potatoes. I think they call them oh God, what do they call them? White potatoes or something? Oh, they were so good. And with string beans. It was delicious. And we didn't actually get any restaurant fish and chips, but we bought some at Aldi and cooked them at home. Since we had a stove, it's cheaper than going out every night. And one night I got hungry late at night and I went to Subway and got a snack. Had a little 6-inch sandwich. Their menu is the same as in the United States. And they do have Subway in Germany too. So that was like a taste of home. But the beer was pretty good. I don't even remember the name of the brand, but they had, and they did have, they had Stella Artois, which I believe is Belgian. They had that there. I don't want to ramble on too long, but when we came back through the Channel Tunnel as well. The process took a little bit longer on the other side, probably because we arrived early, but they put us on our train that was on time. When we went from France over to England, we arrived early, and they actually put us on an earlier train. They asked if we would mind. I said, oh, hell no. But anyway, we came back. You go through you leave Britain. They scan your passport. It's no big deal. They didn't even open the car or anything. They just waved us through. And then you go about 20 feet, about 50 feet, and then you enter France. So, and we did the same thing. You drive down the ramp, you go onto the car. We were a lot farther towards the front of this train coming home than we were on the way over. I think we were farther to the rear of the train when we came over. But when we came back to France, we were a lot closer to the nose of the train. And they have at the trains, when they come back, they apparently go through like a giant figure 8. I was reading about it online, and they do it something to do with the wheels of the wear. They want the wheels to wear at the same rate. They don't want the right wheels to wear faster than the left one, which I guess if you're talking about expensive things like trains, that makes sense. There was security. The security on the British side didn't seem to be that much, but on the French side, when you're trying to get to the UK, I mean, it looked like a military base. I couldn't believe how many fences and everything. And I know they have problems with people trying to sneak over, but what are you going to do? Like try and get onto a train when it's moving or something? I don't know. I suppose people have probably died trying to get over there, but it makes you appreciate a nation trying to maintain their own sovereignty and control their borders somewhat. Because I know we don't have security like that for people trying to sneak into the United States. Holy cow, it's big difference, major difference. But anyway, we enjoyed our time over there. The last time I was in the UK was 50 years ago. So, or 40, was it 49 years ago? It was like 1974, 75, somewhere like that. I was just a kid. And I remember my dad went into a three-lane roundabout the wrong way. And I didn't think I was going to live to be 10. But anyway, that was so long ago. We went to England, Scotland, and Wales. But my wife and I are still planning on going back in October, but we're going to fly and we're going to go to Scotland and we're going to rent a car. So we will probably get a right-hand drive car because that's all they have over there. So that'll be different. But yeah, you could say that I'm a little more confident than I was before about driving on the left, and they drive much better in England than they do in Malta. But when we came, we had to get fuel over there one time on Friday. We stopped at Tesco and we topped off, and it's like $60 to fill this Mazda. It was a lot because it was like $1.48, and I think the pound is worth $1.25 or something. It was around $60. It wasn't quite empty, but it was a little over $61 or was it 61 pounds? I forget. It was about $60. It was a lot. So we filled up and then used a credit card, and that gave us enough fuel to make it back through. You drive through France, then you go through Belgium near Antwerp. I guess you go between Antwerp and Brussels, and then you go through the Netherlands, and then you come back into Germany at Aachen. And we were a little below a quarter tank, so we topped off again at the military rate, which is like, I think it's like $1.11 per liter. And so that was enough to easily get us back home outside of Frankfurt. But anyway, what was I going to tell you? Yes, in England, they use miles per hour for their speed. So we have a computer in our car, so we just switch to the settings and set it for miles. But the signs look like German signs. They got the red circle with the black numbers in it with 50 or 40 or 30 or whatever. So we had our speedometer set for miles. But in England, they sell fuel by the liter. So it's kind of a mixture. And I think Canada uses all metric now, but that was a little weird. But then we came back to Germany and our trip was rather uneventful. We made it home in good time. It felt nice to be home. Our cats missed us. So our cat sitter did a good job with them. They were still our two plump feline sisters waiting for us when we got home. So that's about it for now. I enjoyed the time in the UK, and it was just really funny to hear, one guy, he asked, he said something to me in German, and he said he could tell my German license plate, and I'm like, oh no, ich bin Amerikaner, and he goes, oh, you're American, okay, you speak English. I said, yeah, pretty well. Got a laugh out of that. So if we did something stupid, they'd think we were Germans. So, but no, it wasn't bad driving over there. It's just it kind of messes with you a little bit. But I understand that there are a lot of Europeans who go back and forth. I did talk to several British people over there who said, oh, we go over to France all the time. It's no problem. Well, I guess you get used to it. But now I feel more confident that when we go back in October, it'll be easier, especially if we have a right-hand drive car. So I'm going to sign off for now. I don't mean to bore everybody, but, that's what it was. We got to see some castles, and we did go into a really nice museum in Canterbury. And they had all kinds of stuff, the history. I mean, you're going back before the medieval times. And then if you look at some of the maps of Europe, how the borders have changed over the years, one nation is on top this year and then they're gone. They don't exist anymore. Then other countries expand and contract, and they seem to really enjoy wars over here. But the World War I and World War II, geez, if you ever go to Belgium and go to Flanders Field, or Ypres or anywhere. You just imagine what that trench warfare was like. But anyway, I'm rambling on. I've been talking too much. So that was our trip for the week. Now we're back in Germany, so I'll be back to my boring self now. Cheers.